Hey guys, you're with me, Natalie Bradford on Daily Thoughts, and I'm just here to just kind of remind you about something in life, because sometimes we tend to forget, or for those of you who have not really realized that this is the general general way that life unfolds, and apparently is part of God's um, design for us to enter into seasons and out of seasons. And we see it in the earth, in the way how we have different seasons in our weather and stuff like that. And so too it is in our lives. And as we change seasons, there is always a changing, um, a little disturbance, as the changes take place. So, in some seasons, things are lost. In some season, um, the earth may experience earthquakes and different things, right? And so that in itself gives us the understanding that so too, as we live out this earthly journey, as we transition into different seasons, we would have to endure some discomfort as the seasons change. And the discomfort really comes along because we generally don't really like change, because we don't like to engage with things that we don't quite understand and we cannot control. Generally, we like to control how our life goes, how anything happens in and around us. But unfortunately, for humankind, especially those of us who subscribe to um, Christ being our center, Christ being our head, um, you know, we have to give Him the authorization, the authority in our lives to really take full control. Yeah. And so as He takes control and as He knows how He would have written our story, and we transition from one season of our lives to the other, we will have some disturbance. But I am just here to say, even as I transition into um, a different season yet again in my life, and I am feeling the effects of that change, I am reminded. I am reminded not to be like the Israelites and fight against change, because the transition is only going to be harder if you fight against the change. If you listen to God's voice and you follow His directions, the changing period is going to be a lot more workable, a lot more pliable, and a lot more doable. So I am just here to remind you, do not fight against the change. Seek God's voice. When you hear His voice, follow His directions in exactness, and see that the transition from one season to the next would be filled with God's presence, God's glory, and even God's miracle working powers. Have a great and awesome day.